Hello, my friends. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today live from the holy city of Jerusalem, Israel. And I was thinking about taking a day off today, but I just couldn't. I mean, the Ten Commandments. I mean, how could you not talk about them? Well, let's start by talking about this. Nowhere does it call them commandments. They're referred to as a debrayot, 10 things, 10 words, 10 utterances. Are we commanded to do them? Are we told we should do them? Yes, we're told this is the way we need to maintain our lives. If you look at them, you'll understand there's a guide in there for how do you live in a society where people don't eat each other for dinner. There's commandments about coveting your neighbor, covering his wife. There's commandments about stealing and killing and all the things that we cannot do if we want to have a society and a semblance of some type of a life where we don't destroy each other. They're important. They're necessary. It says we made an agreement. We have a covenant. We have a brit. I'm going to read to you. And in English, Moses called Israel and said to them, "Hear, Israel, the statutes and the ordinances that I speak in your ears today. Learn them, be careful to perform them. Hashem, our God, sealed a covenant with us at Horeb. Not with our forefathers did Hashem seal his covenant, but with us, we who are here today, all of us alive." This is the basis of it. You see, according to the Gemara, all of us were there. We were all there at the giving of the 10 utterances. We were all standing there. I actually had a guy I knew in Miami years ago, and when I first met him, I said, "You look really familiar to me." And he says, "Really? It's funny. I should." I said, "Really? Where do I know you from?" He says, "You don't remember?" I said, "No. Can you give me a hint?" He said, "Think about it. Where would you know me from?" And I thought about it. He did this for 5-6 months. He went on with it. I thought, he's playing a game with me. This is ridiculous. I don't know this guy. I don't know why I didn't know him. He just looks very familiar to me. So finally one day I said, "Okay, let's bring this to an end. Tell me, please, where do I know you from?" He said, "You sure you don't know? You don't remember?" I said, "I'm sure I don't know. I don't remember. Where?" He says, "I was standing right next to you on your left side when we got to 10 Debrayot at Mount Sinai." I looked at him and I said, "Sure you were. Sure you." He says, "Seriously, that's where I was." You see, it says that all of us were there. All the souls of Israel were there. All the souls under the Kisei Kavod were there. We were all there. Why? So we can't say, "Well, Hashem made a deal with our great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, but it doesn't apply to us. I wasn't there. I didn't make a deal. I didn't say, I'll do all this stuff. I didn't say I will do and then I will hear. I didn't say any of this stuff. My great-great-great-great-great-grandparents said this. It's between him and them." This is why in Vayeschanan, which is this week's Torah portion, it's so important that Moshe points out to us, we were there. No, I didn't look like this. I probably didn't have the white beard. Who knows how I was there, in what form, whether you could see me, whether you couldn't see me, whether it was simply a soul in the air. It doesn't matter. We've been told this by Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe our teacher. By the way, you should look at that name, Moshe Rabbeinu. I mean, we don't even think of him. We don't call him Moses our prophet, although he was a prophet. We don't say Moses our miracle giver, although he was. We don't say anything. We call him Rabbeinu, our teacher. And that's how he looked at himself. And that's how he brought himself out to be with us as our teacher. So we think of Moshe Rabbeinu as a teacher who gave us these first 10 utterances, and the additional 603 that go with them from the oral law that was for years not written down until the time of the Mishnah. So nothing was written down. It was supposed to be passed on verbally from father to son to father to son to father to son to father to son. And then it got to the point where they were afraid that it might not be possible in the world in which we live, the environment in which we live, the people we lived amongst might not allow that to happen. So it was decided it needed to be written down. It was written down. The Mishnah was written down. And then Gemara, later on, Gemara came with all the commentaries of all the tzaddikim who talked about the Mishnah. And they made more determinations on things that might not have been quite as clear to us. But the amazing thing is everything, the Mishnah, the Gemara, everything in Torah comes from these 10 utterances. How important are they? Well, again, they keep us from being an uncivilized society. I love it when people say, I'm not religious, but I'm a very moral person. Well, where do you think morality comes from? You think morality is man-made? I have a surprise for you. Morality is most certainly not man-made. It is God-made. It was made by God. So what do you think I think about the people who think that they can change the morality? They can change the way people think about their lives. God made Adam and Eve. It says so. Right at the very beginning of Bereshit. God made Adam, he made Eve. He made a male and female, he made them both. Doesn't say anything about the other 123 different genders. He made 2, and that's it. The other ones are people decided that this should be a gender, and that should be a gender, and this should be a gender, and that should be a gender. That's fine. You can think that. You can think that. You want to think that a grizzly bear is a giraffe. I don't have a problem with that. That's your problem, of your perception. And perception is everything, my friends. Perception about what the 10 utterances were and what they weren't. They hit things that are important. And why is it important to honor your father and mother? Well, it tells you why. It tells you exactly why. So that the days and your days on the earth that Hashem has given you should be better. It's for you. It's not for them. It's for you. But I'm going to tell you something. It is for them as well. We live in a world which is moving around all the time. Parents separated from children, children separated from their parents. Your parents may be living in Phoenix. You live in New York. You're not with them. And what ends up happening is because of distance sometimes, we have machlokas, we have arguments, we have disagreements. I know I had one with my father for 17 years. I had one. I have a friend I just visited his Shiva house who just lost his father. And he also had some issues with his father. But both of us were lucky enough to have made up with them before their passing. Him very shortly before his passing, me very shortly before my father's passing. Why is it important to honor these people? Who's our father? Who's really our father? I mean, I'm not talking about who's on your birth certificate. Who is our father? And mother, for that matter. Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is our father. But he has lots to do. And 7.5 billion children are a lot to take care of. So what does he do? He can't be everywhere. So he gave us a mother and a father on this plane. And they raise us. And they take care of us. And they feed us when we're too young to do anything about it. And they guide us as to what we should do. And that's why we need to respect them. They're doing a job that was given to them by who? Right. By Hashem. He gave them this job. He said, I entrust these souls, these precious, tender souls to you. Help them to grow properly. Help them to know things that I know. Help them to understand that on the 10 utterances, they were there too. Just like you were there, and like your parents were there, and like your parents' parents were there. We were all there, gathered in one spot. All of the souls of Israel were there for the 10 commandments. The 10 utterances. Whatever you want to call them what you like. The important thing isn't necessarily what you call them. It's what do you do with them? Do you incorporate them into your daily life? Because then you need to. It says something about idols, that we should not make any graven images. We should not have any other gods before Hashem. And people say, well, that's ridiculous. Nobody in their right mind bows to idols anymore. First of all, not true. You go to the Far East, you'll find that's not true at all. And second of all, there are other kinds of idols. Other kinds of idols. What kind of idols? Money, gold, silver, cash, cars, boats, houses. The list goes on. We work our lives bowing to these idols, scraping to put them all together. That's not what we're here for. We're here to improve ourselves, to make us the best us we can be, and to get close to Hashem so that we can live a life of joy, love, and fulfillment that brings us closer to our real Father, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now everybody go, have a great Shabbos, have a great week ahead. I'll see you next week. God bless you all. You are wonderful. And know how wonderful you are. Why? Because Hashem made you, and to quote an old adage, He doesn't make junk. Enjoy. Be well. God bless.